Hey there, Mac, and welcome back, everybody, to Enigmatic 6 Expert Mode Live with Light. If you weren't here last time, we can fly. Bonk. Okay, and today, like it says in the title, we're gonna try to do some nucleosynthesizing antiprotonically. And so we've got the SPS, we got the antimatter. What we're missing is a bunch of energy tablets, a few weak blood shards, a bunch of terrasteel, and a bunch of star metal. And a bit of atomic alloy. So we're gonna hit cancel on all of those, and we're gonna do the star metal first. Right. So if I recall, doing these automatically doesn't quite work because of the matter receiver and transmitters. And you need stable wormholes. But wormhole frames, easy peasy. Ish. And then we'll need two of these. Corporeal sparks. Need an extra one of those. And then foliate books. Okay. So we got two wormholes. 1, 2, 3, 4 corporeal sparks, 2 corporeal funnels, and 2 books. And we use that in Xevious' spectral compulsion. Totally remember which one that is, right? Right, chat? Striggier's over there, so this one should be Xevious. I'm gonna double check my bot real quick. There we go. And yes, the funnel does have faces on its faces. Okay. Matter transmitter and receiver on their way. Ah, while that's running, we should rework our pressure chamber recipes. At the very least, these 5. I don't think we necessarily need to do the other ones. These are the ones that I think are probably taking up the most time. There might be one more. Oh yeah, probably need to do the PCB as well. Where's my transistor? Okay, so 32, 64, 32, 32, 64. And then capacitor. Capacitor. This one. Okay, and then come in here. Those back. Yeah, let's do these 2 as well. Okay, so we're gonna make 60 of these. Multiply everything by 10. There we go. And then the full printed circuit board. Such that the 2 line up, let's make 60 of these as well. Wait a minute. No. Because I don't want to use more than a stack of those. So let's make 30. Yeah, we're gonna have some hot dog and bunning regardless. But let's keep it to a relative minimum. These in there, and that's good to go. Okay, so our matter things should be done. So we should be able to make one of these and one of these. And there's that corn. Yeah, if it's gonna happen, might as well make some ketchup too. But where are we gonna get the bananas? Now there's a divisive topic. Horseradish. And the real question, do you like yours green or white? You got stuck on hamburger toppings. Yeah, I never got super into toppings on my hot dogs. Yeah, chili's a good hot dog topping. Relish is one of those things that typically ends up on a hot dog but not on a burger. I just like the taste of meat. Yeah, cheese is pretty good. I like. There are some German sausages that they stuff with cheese. They're hard to cook properly because they'll explode, but they're so good. And even if you do cook them properly, they're dangerous to eat because they're full of molten cheese and grease. And so between the cheese and the grease, you've got some serious problems. Okay, I don't want importers and exporters. I want constructors and destructors. Actually, let's just look for uctors. Because grease and oil have a higher boiling temperature than water does. Sure does. If that's locked, it's probably another issue with this one. What recipe is that? Why was it putting it in when there was iron ingots still in there? I I really should make a second one of those to stop that log jam from occurring. Huh. Ah, there it goes. Yeah, and you can make it even more factorial-like if you want, because... How's there sand on top of this? Because the roof didn't used to be there, and I haven't broken it yet. Yeah, there was a time before this was all enclosed. Looks like the corporeal sparks borked, so let's send another batch of those. And then cancel them. Eight by 8 belt balancer. Yeah, that sounds atrocious. We haven't really checked on this in a while. Makes me wonder if it exploded. Or if it shut itself off, because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to shut itself off when it's having trouble. But it's more likely that it exploded. Again. Oh, it hasn't exploded. But the chunk loader barge was gone, so, Okay, so this... The nuclear waste is full. Is my entire polonium thing? My entire thing of polonium is full. Wow. Okay. Oh, right, because I turned off the antimatter generator. So it doesn't have any way of using it at the moment. But it's doing its job. It's full, so it turned itself off. Yeah, so it outputs redstone on excess waste, turns off the device. That's great. Why our boat died is a bit of a mystery. But that's okay. Yeah, hooray for safety mechanisms and them functioning properly. It's a Christmas miracle. Okay. So crafting is done. So we've got our transmitter, we've got our receiver. Now I need our network card. Well, that's the thing, Mac. It didn't get irradiated the first time. The reactor totally exploded, but they didn't get irradiated. And I don't know why. Okay, so it's the transmitter that stays here.
I remember that. It was a nice, safe explosion, and then you walked around and didn't die, 8 to 10 weeks later of radiation poisoning, so...
I know, right?
All was good.
Various soft tissues sloughing off.
Yeah, sloughing is a word I can live with that in my dictionary. The atomic disassembler is a powerful multi-tool available early in Mechanism's tech tree. I'll have to look at that.
In normal mode, that's true. Expert mode, I'm not so sure.
I'll have to take a look.
Okay, I have a constructor, I have a destructor. Network receiver. Waiting on a network card.
I'm in.
It's processing these over here. Oops.
Get soul shards, controller, Botania stuff. I actually think I did. Yeah, I already did the controller. Now it's just Botania stuff.
Ooh, Botania stuff.
So I want to make 2 Natura pylons. But if I want to make my own Gaia arena, I'll need 4 Gaia pylons, which needs... So do I need a total of 6? I guess we would need a total of 6, but I don't feel like doing that right now, so, it can go below.
Okay, why is it still dim? Something happened in Atum, and now my brightness is lower. So weird. Okay.
Is it sand?
Well, no, like I'm not there anymore. Got jump boost to got luck. No radiation, no nothing. It's just a little dim. Which of these is the fast one? Okay, this one's the fast one.
IW Fasty. First of your name.
Oh, right. I also need... this guy. But in the meantime...
Ooh, I actually used up all my Endarium honeycomb. Nice. Now I can start processing. Different one.
Okay. Destructor... Whitelist, Star Metal Ore, Constructor, Firmament. So we'll place this here. We're going to need a boat.
I assume chugging soy sauce will poison me. I'm just gonna make that leap right now.
I think the cop's the only thing that might be flammable up here. Should be fine. Okay. Okay, we currently have 70. Over time, that number should go up.
Number go up.
Let's go back just to be sure that it's working relatively appropriately. Oh. Right. We don't have a stock of firmament.
Yeah, it's one of the things that you make manually, isn't it?
No, I've got auto crafting. It's just I don't have constant stock.
Stores built up, yes.
Because I've got a few things that I've got stocked, but that's not one of them. There we go. Now we're going to have a stock of star metal. Okay, so that's good. Okay, next up, energy tablets. Missing 10, missing 14. So let's say we're missing 26. Why are these not auto-crafted yet? Okay. We just wait on the star metal, tear steel, and atomic alloy. Available 15, missing 1. So 16 total. Okay, so missing nocturnal powder. Interesting. That's an alchemy table recipe, which is totally fine. We got one of those.
Nocturnal powder.
Okay, so I'll mix that up. We chuck it in the void. Then we melt it down. We'll probably eventually have to automate the void chucking. Let's go make sure that's actually working. What is it working on? Oh, it's working on the nocturnal powder.
Do you have a specific chuck for the void? Or no? Or is that what you just said?
Not yet. I will eventually probably need to automate throwing things into the void. I don't think we're there quite yet. Okay, check the blood levels. 235,000. Check the table. Orked. Why did it send through so many? Pulse inserts next. Why did it? That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's another problem. It was supposed to separate those out. Which one of you doesn't have the stack limiter? You got it. You've 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 got it. Huh?
Rye, farmer onions, cassavas.
Let's try that again. 1, 1, and 2. There we go. I think the high extraction module ignored the stack limiter. Oh, there's the problem.
What's that?
It's sending the things out of the table too slowly. There we go. That should be better. Now, just take them all at the same time, and that will just send one pulse for the next thing to go in. Yes, yes, Muncher, go back to Mario Maker. Okay, that's good. Why is it having trouble with the sun metal? It can't be at a source. Oh. How are we at a source?
How are you at a source?
Is my... Oh, my blaze farm might be borked again. Yeah, it sounds like my blaze farm is borked again. Yep. Don't know how this happens, so that'll be the next thing we work on. Wait, what? Oh, it needs to go in the tank. Right.
Alright. Slight carportation. Ka-ching. Moving onwards.
Yeah, like all of these are full, but they're not feeding back into the fuel tank. And the fuel tank is the problem. And so we need to figure out a way to pull from here, prioritize the fuel tank, or have it pull straight from here into the massive storage. And have the massive storage go into the tank. Couldn't you use a dynamic storage for mechanism for that? Yeah, it's the ungodly amount that isn't as ungodly as you'd think, because I think you need a massive dynamic tank for it to be as big as the the black hole tank. With its 2 million buckets. But it still feels like we might get overflow from that. And so I'm just trying to think of the best way to deal with getting it from here into the black hole tank, into this tank, into the trash. And really, that's all there is to it. Okay, so
Roadrunner just dropped a feather, so I just shoved it into your inventory.
oh, wait. I only have 17?
Wow. You might not be picking it up somehow, maybe? Because like I said, it just jumped into my inventory, so...
Yeah, it might be a thing that well, I shouldn't have that many if they don't drop from the Drigme, but that's some real slow growth. Yeah, we could use the priority modules. Or we could just use distance. The only problem is we can't put things adjacent to the things. So... grab this. I'm gonna grab a couple of these. What I'm gonna do is something like this. And then... well, no, because if we do the fluid extraction... Right, it can't be after this. Because we just want to extract from here into there. So let's do a high fluid extract. Such that it only grabs the right amount. And then we need to grab a few more of these. And put them here and here, and crack that one. Such that if this is full, it'll go to the trash. Okay, so now
Quinoa. Is it playing quinoa? I wasn't paying attention.
and now we entangle on this. And find our thing here. And go like that. Okay. So we take this, and we go like that.
Conveniently nighttime. Alright, so... Do I have Terra Steel? No, I gotta go make the Terra Steel.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that too. Here's hoping we don't run out of mana.
Does it take that much?
Well, it's I believe it's half a mana pool each.
I believe it. I mean, I only need like 2, so maybe 6. I don't know. I'll have to take a look at it later. Meantime, all right, clouds in a bottle.
Yeah, we haven't done much to this place in quite a while, Mac. Yeah, it's probably the first upgrade in a year. Well, if you don't count the automation. Because the automation wasn't so much in here. Was that last pipe needed? No, these are for automation. This is how to get items and... Well, the chute might be coming out, but either way, these are not used locally. These are used remotely. All we need is this fluid coming into there and over to here. Always good to check, though. Ah! That is not what I meant to do. Why are you in bucket mode?
I hate when I do that.
Also, where did that high extraction mode come from? Ah, here. There we go. And this place is so much more delightful to work in after installing the no AI upgrade to the spawner.
Oh, because they don't sit there and, accept their
Yeah,
fate?
they just sit there and take it. They don't try to kill me.
But what is life without constant dodging? My heather is off.
Huzzah.
Oh, nope, I need some of that mana powder. No, I have to make more pie crusts. First.
There we go. All glassed in for no one's viewing pleasure. Okay. What was I doing again? Oh, right. Chucking things in the void. It seems like too powerful of a wand. Mac. Command block wand. Just. Poof. Okay. Shadow Steel acquired. Back we go. Put it in the system. Request Shadow Steel. I believe it's 144 at a time. Yeah.
Haha, mic on. So you've automated Shadow Steel? And like you like have like a dropper drop it in the void, and it gets like vacuumed up by something else, basically.
Not yet.
Okay.
I will eventually do that. Right now, I have to manually go there and chuck it in the void. But I automatically melt it. But then I also manually bring it up here to turn it into atomic alloy.
That's cool.
Wait. Why is my spent nuclear waste not going away? It's not a good sign.
No, it's not.
Okay, so that's working now. Does that mean this was unloaded again? Excuse me, Monsieur LeChuck. Why are you dead again?
He just completely disappeared again?
No. He's dead. Like he broke and landed on the ground. Oh, I see little bits of green in the air.
Where's your black cat friend?
And now I'm starting to take damage.
That's no good.
Why are we being irradiated? Okay. What do I need done to do it? I get one freebie. Raw cod.
What if you got 2 freebies instead?
I mean, if it came down to it, I could come over there and use mine if you're really concerned about it. I doubt I'm going to be there anytime soon.
Am I not logged in? Oh my god, I'm not logged into Twitch.
Let's head back over.
How's everybody doing today?
Pretty good.
Oh,
How about
it
you?
apparently irradiated my village.
Again?
Well, that's the thing. It didn't get irradiated the first time, despite the explosion, and this time it didn't explode, but it's irradiated.
Delayed radiation. Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, future radiation. It's a big problem.
Well, it's the time value of radiation is really insurmountable. Where's my phone? I need my freaking 2-factor authentication. So I have some exciting news.
Go
Yay.
on.
Next Friday, I have an appointment for installing fiber.
Oh boy.
So my internet connection is not good enough for Minecraft. I'm surprised I'm not a robot, to be honest with you, because it looks like the connection sucks in Discord as well. But the worst part is I called them today because I got a message from Daddy Musk saying, "Hey, your window has opened. If you want to get in to Starlink, other internet service providers are available. Now is the time." And you have 3 days. Best of luck. Now, to be fair, I had 11 days, but I was in Orlando Disney World for the first 8 of them. And I was like, man, I don't want to do Starlink if I don't have to, but at the same token,
Yeah.
like I need internet because, as I mentioned before, I went to Disney. My current internet service provider is deciding they're not going to do home service anymore. So October 31st is it. That's the last day.
Which, by the way, is really confusing to me. But
Well, they rent the bandwidth from T-Mobile, and fiber is moving into the area, right? And so they're losing customers left and right. So why keep a failing division going?
I guess that makes sense. Yes. I'm still outraged.
So anyway, I don't have to do that now. I just will have fiber. Except when I called the fiber people, so that's why I called them. I was like, hey, just kind of like, is there a timeline of when this is, right? And they looked me up and they're like, you're the second person from that neighborhood. And I was like, what? And they're like, you've been able to get internet for a while now. And I was like, what? And
Did
apparently
you then through and strangle them through your cord.
I didn't. I was, polite. But it's because there was a glitch in their system apparently, and our neighborhood didn't get notified. So, like, remember about a month and a half ago when I was like, man, it looks like they're done? They were done. I could have had it then.
Well, there's.
So anyway, their first appointment was next Wednesday. I was unavailable, and so it'll be next Friday. And it's $80 a month, taxes included. Like, that's it. I'm going to get charged 3% because I'm putting it on a credit card because I want them giving them sweet points.
Nice. Nice.
So I'm paying $82.40 a month for internet. A 1 gigabyte speed, synchronous, asynchronous, whichever the one is the same up and down.
That'd be synchronous. That makes sense to me. Oh, that's great news.
Yeah, very excited.
How was your board gaming?
I didn't go. My contractor was here until it was too late, and so I just stayed at home and put up my fall decorations instead. But that was good.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
How's everything with all of you?
Holding up okay. Usual stuff. Stealing Light's resources to progress my my goals.
Meanwhile, I'm watching Light stream, and just every second or two, it's just small damage. How is it irradiated on your boat and in a tomb?
It's not. It's me.
Oh, you yourself are irradiated.
Yeah, so I'm going to slowly let it kill me, which is taking much longer than it should. And then hopefully, after that, I'll be okay, so long as I don't go back over there for, a while.
I can't confirm that will work, because that's what I did in the last run through. But where is it actually irradiated? So when I get back in the game, I know not to go there for a while.
There's a village to the northeast of my Atum base.
Okay, so if we go to the base itself, it's fine.
Yeah. Do we happen to know whether or not the irradiatedness is bound to, the world time? Or if the chunks have to be loaded?
I don't remember, because I cleared mine.
I have no knowledge of this.
Well, I'm trying to think, because the first time I had a fish, the second time I cleared it. I think
It makes
loaded
sense
the
that
whole
they would
time,
need to be
though.
loaded, but
Yeah, I can't tell you, because I'm 99% certain it was loaded, because I was working around it trying to deal with it. Because there are things that you can do to try and minimize it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
I had that suit, so I wasn't getting sick anymore because I had my suit on.
yeah, if it well, I don't want to die while I'm there, so I'm gonna die here. Then we'll go over, we'll load the chunks from far away.
Just tell them to go.
And then just let them be there for a while. I won't need to be over there. Dropping an anvil on yourself, make it go faster. It probably would. Could probably take off my armor, turn off my trinkets.
Jump in some water. Unless you've given up on breathing as well. Spider came and bit me and flew past the draw distance. I love it.
There we go. Killed by radiation poisoning. Score 86,400.
Wow, it's been a while.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, you saw how long it took for radiation to kill me. Like,
No. I mean, that's a decent score.
mhm.
It's been a while since you died.
Right. Like, there are only a couple of things left in the game that even can. Looking at you,
Sure.
great beetle of the forest. Okay. Can we see the place from here? We can. Can we claim chunks from here? Of course not.
You have to be in the right world.
No,
You should
but
be able to claim chunks that you're not in.
well, you can only see like 8
Oh, right,
chunks.
but you can only do 16
across.
Yeah, you're right. It turns out radiation is 17.
Wouldn't that be the way? Okay, so we need to go quite a ways left. Oh, yeah, I have one of those, don't I?
so did you reduce your menagerie, or did some of it escape?
I reduced it. There were some that just didn't matter anymore.
Okay.
And some that
Well,
were
there
just
was also that problem
getting
with
annoying.
the Guardian, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was the Forgotten guy. So yeah, he caused some trouble, but he didn't kill anybody. But I killed the Evoker because he caused the whole thing.
Punishment.
I'm having an incredible bout of deja vu right now.
Happens every once in a while.
I wonder what that changed.
Nothing. Everything. Both.
Okay. So these guys seem fine. You should not be running.
I mean, nobody should be running, to be honest.
Stop it. Just gonna drain all of this. Leave it be.
Oh, so
Everything
there's
should
yelled
be
over
fine.
there. I'm gonna find out what's going on. Be right back.
Did he just say an air raid alarm was going off?
Okay, I see green.
That's not what he said, right, chat?
Okay. I do believe everybody here is dying. Okay. It's a shame, but we can always import new people.
Oh my god, it's so callous.
Okay, so I don't want to use up all of my polonium, so I am going to deactivate the SPS again. Okay, back to what I was actually planning on doing. What was that again? Right. Do this. Need some terra steel and some weak blood shards. Need 14 plus 6 is 20. We got 5. We make them 10 at a time, so we're making 2 batches.
Oh boy, if I make my Disney reservation in the next 5 days, I can get a 35% discount.
Yay.
Time to go back. Oh wait, no, that's a marketing ploy. No, don't succumb.
No, Mac, it's the you just got back, so you remember how awesome it is. How about you do another one?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You get a week. Again, I didn't look at my emails. I've been back for 2 days, but you get a week, and it's like, hey, if you book within the next week, you get 35% off, but you have to use these specific dates and blah blah blah. I don't think it's bad. I mean, look, is Disney a giant evil conglomerate of a corporation? Yes. Is their parks division actually that bad? No. The evil comes from most of the rest of the corporation. Parks division is mostly okay. Now, they're still a corporation, so they're trying to make some money. So they're going to try and get as much of it out of you as they can, but they're not like they're not quite as bad as they could be.
So the answer was Heather thought it'd be funny to scare the dog by going bat at it suddenly. End of story.
So not an air raid siren. Okay.
No. Not a lot of them in this region.
I didn't think so, and that's why I was very confused by it. That's what I heard. My brain heard you say.
In my brain, I just said I thought I heard a sound. So
Nice. Turned around to see the thing that made the sound. Mysterious whisper. Sorry. It's all They Might Be Giants for you.
I'm not sure I know that song.
It's part of Fingertips. The penultimate track of Apollo 18,
Okay. You know,
which
I
is
own
actually
Apollo 18.
31 tracks. It's good. So Fingertips is probably the first time that they recorded some of their micro songs. They've been doing micro songs live for like ever. But Apollo 18, they recorded it, and it's a collection called Fingertips. And one of them is I heard a sound, I turned around to see the thing that made the sound. That's the song. That's the whole thing. But then the next song is Mysterious Whispers. Mysterious Whispers.
That's pretty funny.
And it ends, the last song is just.
Yeah, you're like at the very bottom of your you got to whisper a little bit louder for me to.
Yeah, you're right at your noise gate.
That's the one.
Oh, all right. Well, it's very quiet on the album too, so apropos.
Okay.
And then it goes into whatever the ultimate song is on it, which I think is an instrumental. The one right before Fingertips is I don't remember what it's called, but it's The Lion Sleeps Tonight, except that it's in the spaceship, the silver spaceship. The lion takes control.
Mm-hmm. I remember that one.
That's from Apollo 18.
Yes.
Poly Team is a good thing. Fingertips is really cool. One of the other micro songs is "Something grabbed a hold of my hand. I didn't know what had my hand, but that's when all my troubles began." Should we go to TwitchCon this year? It's in Las Vegas. That seems a little dangerous. Although, by that point, all of the MGM properties will be part of the Marriott Bonvoy program, so there's that. Like, where is it? What else to do in Las Vegas? Well, that's an interesting question, because quite a significant portion of Twitch people and the people that go to TwitchCon are only 13 to 20, and they can't do shit in Vegas. They like to say that they're family friendly, but let's be honest.
Sure they are.
We need more covers with me. I'll sing. What do you want me to sing? I'll sing anything if I know it.
And he knows a lot of stuff.
I'm curious. Let's see what else it says to do in Vegas. Oh, literally, it just links you to visit LasVegas.com, and everything on here, on the splash page at least, is 21 plus. Dude, I kind of want to go to the Formula One Grand Prix though, like legitimately. Okay, so that's not helpful.
Yeah, Roadrunner is
Like, I
definitely
can't
just
figure out
dropping
anything about
feathers on the
TwitchCon.
ground.
Where is this? It just says Las Vegas. There are 15 convention centers in Las Vegas. Can we be a little more specific?
No.
Oh, dude, the one in Paris. I missed it. I should have gone. That was July. Oh, here we go. Travel and hotels. Okay.
TwitchCon Paris.
It's at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Ooh, what fucking one is that?
The Las Vegas one. You know, that one.
I'm pretty sure there are two that are called the Las Vegas Convention Center. Like, one of them is the Las Vegas Visitor and Convention Center, and the other one is just the Las Vegas Convention Center. There's a monorail? Oh, it's just on the strip. Okay, that's why I've never noticed it. Don't do the Vegas loop. Don't get into an electric car in a closed tunnel that's known to catch on fire. Just don't do that. Okay, here we go.
The tunnel or the car?
The car. Teslas have a problem where they catch on fire.
Yes.
So it's at the Riviera? What? Oh, do you want to stay? Such a shit.
Why is this
I don't
not
know. I don't want to go there.
processing? Aphrodescence,
Legal notice.
incense stick, refined crimson. Master blood orb. Master blood orb, aphrodescence, refined crimson, incense stick of crimson shade. Oi. Where are you going? Insufficient blood.
That seems impossible based on your setup.
It really does.
Have you knocked down your supplies and you need to build them up some more?
I wouldn't think so.
They do not do deodorant checks. That's not a thing. That's not real.
Do I need a better blood orb pulling the blood into the network?
Oh, view all
Yeah.
hotels.
Yeah, you need a if you want it to go to the max, the blood orbs will only pull up to whatever their level is. So, depending on how much your thing costs, you might want to put your magician or even make another master and put it in there.
Oh my god, one of the partner hotels is New York, and the Excalibur? Oh my god, that's so bad. Oh my god. Yeah, this is the convention center on the bad side of town. Like, not even a lie.
Crystal wants Osiris God shards. I can probably do that.
Dude, this isn't even right. This is called, so it's saying the Courtyard by Marriott Convention Center, but based on where it's saying its address is, it's in downtown Las Vegas, which means it's like 3 or 4 miles from the convention center, which, yeah, okay, fine. But in Las Vegas, that's a long way.
Are you saying Las Vegas is not super pedestrian friendly?
Yeah, that is just understatement. I'm also saying that over half of these hotels say guests must be 21 years of age to check in. This is basically every strip property. Like, they're not by, oh my god, the flamingo. Don't go to the flamingo. Who has a, oh my god. Probably a ton of people, because it's only $124 a night. It's because you'll get shivved halfway through, and then the hookers will go after you.
Night comes, the hookers emerge.
And don't fuck with the hookers, man. Like they're a union. They're legit.
Well, now I feel like I should support them. Look for that union label.
Embassy Suites, Convention Center, Las Vegas, which is also, again, not at the convention center. $280 a night for an Embassy Suites. You could get like a suite at the Palazzo for that. Like, one of their partners is a 74 key hotel. Like, why is this on the list? It's sold out for every night. Like, why is this on the list? It has 74 keys. Oh my god.
As in, it has 74 rooms?
Yeah. In hotel parlance, that's what a key is. So, like, when you're building a hotel, you're building a certain number of keys, and there's a cost per key, and you try and keep it in a certain range. Out of curiosity, let's go to actual Marriott's website.
Because the suites are likely more than one room.
Right, but it's one key. Almost every suite is at least a bay and a half, if not 2 full bays. And then your presidential type suites are 3 to 4 bays. All right, let's change our dates to this weekend in October. Okay, we're going to Las Vegas, Nevada. Go. So let's see what Marriott says. Yeah, most of it's sold out. This is impressive. So I travel enough. I'm lucky enough that I have a job that sends me places, that I have status with Marriott that if I want a room anywhere that is not tied to an ongoing convention type event, so that's important. But if I want a room anywhere in the world, and I give them at least 48 hours notice, they will kick other people out to give me the room.
Oof.
Now, I don't do that very often because I have what's called a touch of autism, and so my anxiety would be so astronomical if I'm not booking a room at least a month in advance. I can't do it. But I tell you that because I am looking at this event that is about a month away, and I cannot get a room at the Marriott or the Spring Hill Suites that's actually at the convention center. Those are listed as sold out for me. So those are considered the convention hotels. Now, I could, that 74 key hotel I just mentioned to you that is being listed at $200 and some odd a night on the Twitch site, without me going through that Twitch site, I can get a room there, but it's $782 a night. Now keep in mind, that $282 listed on the Twitch site does not include Friday and Saturday, but I can get Friday and Saturday. I just have to pay for it a lot. Now, I'm not paying $800 a night for TwitchCon in Vegas on the wrong side of Vegas. Let's just make that clear. First off, I gamble enough that I probably could get rooms somewhere else in Vegas for a lot cheaper. But if I wanted to stay at the convention center, because I should point out that hotel is not at the convention center. It's close, but it's not at it. If I wanted to, there is a Residence Inn. Residence Inn. Keeping in mind, I'm saying a Residence Inn. If you've ever stayed at a Marriott brand hotel, you know where the Residence Inn rates on the scale of Motel 6 to the Ritz-Carlton. And Motel 6 is not a Marriott property, by the way. I don't want to confuse you, but a lot of people know what a Motel 6 is. That's $1,000 a night.
Oof.
That's a bit.
Yeah. Oh my God, I could pay $785 and stay at the Cosmopolitan. That's at least a good hotel. Oh, it occurs to me too, my prices are after tax. The ones on the Twitch site are not. Because I find it very annoying. I could stay at the airport for $300. Which means TwitchCon is not the only thing that's happening. If I'm paying $300 a night at the airport in Las Vegas, there is a lot happening in Las Vegas that weekend. So if y'all are going to TwitchCon, be prepared because there's a lot going on. Let's just find out what actually is happening that weekend. Viva Las Vegas. Shows and events. Can I get like a... Yeah, excellent. So I would like to look at October 20th through 22nd, please. What's happening those days? So we have the ABBI World Finals. No idea what that is. Billy Idol's going to be in Vegas. The Cheat Codes, Diplo. Diplo's got a nightclub there right now, though, so that's not anything. That's just a guy playing the Tao. Tony Osmond's got a show. Earth, Wind, and Fire has a residency.
Donny Osmond.
Yeah, he's been playing at Heroes for a while. Kevin James is going to be doing stand-up. I mean, that's pretty big. But these aren't like events. I want like conventions and shit. There are 276, if I'm doing my math correctly. I'm trying to add up 5 different categories. But there are 276 events just on those 3 days.
It's too many
So that's
events.
a lot. Let's do a list instead of the grid. Yes, you read. Can I do more per page? Yes, I can. Lionel Richie's doing a show. PBR Team Series Championship. Oh, bull riding. So there's bull riding that weekend.
Mm.
Guess who? Okay. U2's residency is still going on at the Sphere. Usher's residency is still going on. I was right, 276. Nice. Adele will still be doing her thing. But these aren't like conventions. This isn't gonna take it up. America's Got Talent is doing their Vegas show that weekend, but that's not gonna take up all the time. This is all normal stuff. Jimmy Kimmel has a comedy club in Las Vegas, apparently. These aren't conventions. I wonder if I can see like a Las Vegas conventions. Yes, at vegasmeansbusiness.com. Alrighty, let's look at the 20th through the 22nd. I just want conventions and trade shows. the annual users conference of some sort, digital dealer conference, IMAX America. That's a big show. Some organ donation congress, MetalCon happening. National Business Aviation Association has their convention. Some sort of musculoskeletal imaging technique. Sweet World. TwitchCon. That's it. There's nothing on that weekend. Why is it so expensive then? That doesn't make any sense. Estimated 30,000 attendees for TwitchCon.
30,000. That's it.
ABBI World Finals, but that doesn't have a. That's an equestrian thing. Doesn't have any sort of whatever. There's this whole bull riding thing, but that's not listed in terms of number of people.
All right, still 147 Nebu ingots. Good.
Yeah, I don't understand why the hotel rates are so expensive. Very strange. There's like nothing going on that weekend that should do that.
Could be because they can.
It could be. Because they know they have suckers coming in. Oh, look, that 74 key hotel. I actually did a search now instead of just looking at the hotels. It is unavailable. It is full out.
Shocking.
Astounded, personally.
And all the prices when you click into the site are now higher than when you just viewed the hotels by themselves. Funny. Well, anyway, I don't need to go. I just wanted to look. All right, let's catch up on the chat here.
I will be right back.
You can just see me, Frog. Where am I going? You can see me having a fit over processing this? Oh, the fact that it's just ridiculous? Yeah, it's dumb. Get out of here, banner ad. Screw you, TwitchCon. I haven't been on Twitch in so long. Because like streaming at home is questionable. And now that I'm at a different campus at my work, and this one actually has a good filter on it, so it's blocked.
I can watch.
Yeah, I don't understand why TwitchCon is in Vegas. I just don't understand it. Like, I understand there are adults, but like, is that glowstone you're harvesting?
No, they're God of Forge blocks.
Oh. God, I can't play this world with you guys. I'm so far behind now. Like, what am I even going to do?
I mean, I'm not going to pretend I am anywhere near where Light is, nor am I going to pretend that I would be anywhere if I weren't just every so often going over to his stuff and basically acting as, conquering, Mongol horde, just, stealing his stuff to make my doing stuff just that teensy little bit faster. Like, if I like half the stuff I do, like I would just be sitting here staring at something go incredibly slowly if I couldn't go over to Light's place and just, steal his power and his mana, which he, painstakingly set up.
Does that setup have to be in front of the portal, or you just did that because it looks cool?
I just did it because it looks cool.
Okay.
He knows what's good.
Sir, I have given you treats already. Knock it off.
Is that a kitty cat?
Gave him like 20 treats. Because Mrs. Frog is out with a girlfriend tonight, and so she won't be home for like probably another hour. And he was whining, and I'm like, okay, fine.
May I posit? Have you considered 21 treats?
I mean, that's what he wants, clearly.
One thing I have been doing is taking advantage of the my backpack's auto feeding upgrade, and every so often just stuffing it full of stuff I haven't eaten yet, and then ignoring it for a while. It's nice.
Yeah, I remember when I was doing that back in the day.
Back in my day.
Yeah.
Damn kids. Let's see. So it goes regular mana spreader, then Elven mana spreader, then Gaia mana spreader. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can use lenses to make them better is the wrong word, but better for certain purposes.
More efficient.
For some purposes.
Yes, based on the color of the lens. You also
And
can use the pylons to make your library setup better, for instance.
Oh yeah, because they give you like Eterna and stuff like that.
Yeah, so if you go to the library and use the enchanting table there, you have to move some of the bookcases around once you get into the space, but you can get 100 Arcana out of it.
Yeah, that's why I got some sweet duds, and I am now stuffed full of enchantments right now. Like
Yeah, you are.
I have so much BS going on. Again, that's why I said the spider looked at me and then went flying out past draw distance. I have like, what is it? Rebounding?
Mm-hmm.
I have like 7 levels of rebounding, and so much mana boost and regeneration. I did have to reshuffle a couple of times because they kept giving me some of those enchantments that they're not negatives, but they're not positives, so you can't get rid of them.
Yeah. Well, you can split them.
Yeah, but that wasn't worth my time.
Fair.
I just hit the big red button and then did it again.
Speed run the game. Not in expert mode.
I mean,
to be fair, if it's magical, I have quite a lot of it.
Also, speedrunning is fairly reasonable when, other people have stuff that you can sneak on in.
That's
true.
Feels like cheating. I'm not against a little cheating now and again. In games where it's okay. Let me preface that.
Okay.
I have become obsessed with Board Game Arena as well, by the way. If I'm not in at least like 10 games, I feel like twitching.
Sorry about your stuff. I have definitely used your stuff to be making me some mana pearls real quick, so.
That's totally fine. Still
Speaking
got
of cheating,
like 3/4 of our mana supply left. Yeah, I think the only thing we actually have to worry about mana-wise are the stupid mycelial filaments.
you need a lot of those, don't you?
I did. Hopefully, I don't need any more. But, let's see. We need them for branches of Yggdrasil. That's what it was. And then the
How many
mycelial
of those do we
reactor,
need?
but I'm not going to make one of those. The branches of Yggdrasil, you need 4 for each enigmatic tree of life port.
Oh.
And you needed like probably 10 ports. And then you needed another 11 for the controller. And you need 2 for every branch.
Yep, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm. And each of those filaments takes 6 mana pools.
Good.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I don't have to make any more of those, so we probably don't need to worry about the mana. So I could probably automate this mana infuser now.
Oh, is that your concern, that you would just run out of mana in the midway and then everything would be terrible?
Yeah, because if you run out of mana, it'll just despawn. Like whatever you've got on the platform.
Sure.
That if you can't make the mana in the 5 minutes that it's sitting there, poof, it's gone. Unless Botania has something that will prevent things on the ground from despawning. Feels like the sort of thing Vasky might make.
It does feel like that kind of thing.
Because you already had enough. Too bad.
Yeah, Corn, we have tested that the agglomeration plate does not prevent it from despawning. I was just thinking there might have been a functional flower that would
I know
prevent
for a
things from
100% fact
despawning.
because the first time I tried to use it, I didn't understand it. And so I just stood there for 5 minutes. Then it disappeared. I went, why don't I have any Terra Steel or whatever it was I was trying to make? That was a sad day.
Why'd you lose the Terra Steel?
Because I thought it was one of the things where like you throw it on top of there and you don't like right click onto it. And so I just stood there waiting for it to, do its thing. I wasn't sure if it was going
so
or
it
not.
timed out.
So it timed out and despawned, and then I was a sad panda.
But I thought that didn't happen if you're standing there.
Oh, it totally does. It's only if you're standing there.
Oh.
That if you
Dangerous.
run far enough away, the chunks won't be loaded and the stuff won't despawn. But if the chunks are loaded, 5 minutes, poof.
Interesting.
Why, hello.
Howdy. Are we watching how the soup is made?
Oh my god, he is now sitting in front of the cabinet that has the treats and just wailing.
Making a lot of soup.
Cat.
I also quite enjoy just watching the Wither's health bar go down.
Is it just automated wither murder going on?
Mm-hmm.
Pink Wither Murder, if I recall.
Isn't that all the way
No,
downstairs?
regular, because I need to get the nether stars to make the nitro crystals.
How do you summon a Wither without having how's that automated?
So there are things that place the blocks, and you have to make sure it places the heads last. And then
that makes sense.
And then once it spawns in, it explodes. So you have to make sure his head is in something that is witherproof.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then he's standing in a bunch of mine carts. And so he takes whatever the crushing damage is called. Entity cramming damage.
Huh.
Which is real fast. Well, compared to all the other ways that I know of to automatically murder things.
Yeah, I was doing it by means of a soul shard production earlier.
Mhm.
But you know,
Yeah, that takes more timing than I would want to automate.
understandable. Haha, you shot me, now you're on fire.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, this is a bit more expensive than I thought. Because that's like 500 blazing crystals.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah. $300 advanced RAM chips. Oh, that graphite's gonna take a while, isn't it?
At any point, do you use the like the 38 ones for the 50 ones recipes for those various things,
Which things?
or is it like I know they're like the RAM chips and like stuff like that? There's some of them have like the mega recipes, and I was wondering if that was something you did, or if it's
Oh,
just more convenient to do the singles.
so the advanced RAM chip by default is the 16, but I know which one you mean. I don't have that multi-block yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna need it eventually. Yeah, so like the prepared basic memory chip requires the unpacked basic memory chip that requires the packed memory chip, which requires the advanced assembly table.
Oh, okay.
And the advanced assembly table is a multi-block that appears to be 8 by 4 by 5.
You know, we should do something so much easier next time, like C block, or Sky block, or something.
Sure.
Ugh. And it pains me so greatly that I'm joking, but it's also real. Like, C block is way easier than what we're doing to ourselves right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is C block like Sky block but different?
Yeah. A lot of kelp, if I'm remembering correctly, or seaweed or whatever.
I would expect as much. Okay, so what could we speed up to make this better? Well, we could speed up the flattener. Oh yeah, the pyrolyzer.
Gold leaf.
What else is running? Let's make sure the induction smelter is still good.
One lust. One air.
Oh,
One summer. Lust air summer.
not expecting the wires to be falling behind. Oh, so they buffed extreme reactors. Like, it's not usually the way packs go. Typically don't buff power generators. Particularly in one where you'd have relatively unlimited space.
What kind of generator are you looking at?
Savage Coin's talking about in C block. They buffed the extreme reactors like 10 times.
Oh wow.
So just a little 5x5x5 gives you, what is that, 114,000 RF per tick. Which is not overwhelming, but for such a small reactor, that's really good.
Yeah. To be fair, I love Enigmatica. I'm over expert mode.
I understand. It's a lot, and if Light weren't here, I probably would have given up a while back. But
And like for me, it's just like, why is the pyrolyzer so slow? Everything else seems fine.
very much Kappa, yes. What are you pyrolyzing?
So I need coal coke to make graphite, probably. Yeah, I'm fairly certain I need to squeeze the coal coke dust to make the graphite dust, to make the graphite ingots, to make the graphite electrodes, to make some sort of battery or other.
Yeah, I remember graphite looking like, short-term graphite didn't look too bad, but yeah, all that stuff you need for it seems like it's a lot.
It's just
do you need daytime perp by any chance?
Nah. It's just the exponential growth of it all.
I mean, why do you think I haven't done any of the science? Because I look at it and I'm just like, that's like real science now. And this is coming from a guy who, mind you, has played at the time some of the hardest packs in Factorio. But like, I won't play Modern Factorio. I'll play Modern Factorio, but not the hard packs in Modern Factorio. I mean,
do you see they're coming out with a Factorio expansion?
The space thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems kind of neat. Elven Gateway.
Whoa, Elven Gateway.
Touch that Elementium for some free stuff.
Yay, pink stuff.
Elven B.
Not pink stuff. Mrs. Frog had some gray stuff. She said it was delicious.
I'm going to go ahead and ask the dishes.
Didn't have to. That was our big splurge. So the theory of why we were at Disney is that it's our 10th anniversary. It's not until November, but we're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's the thing. So our big splurge is we went to the not stupid, that's wrong, but the incredibly overpriced dinner in the Beast's castle. And I have to say it that way because most people refer to this as the Beauty and the Beast dinner. But Beauty doesn't go. It's just the Beast. And he just walks around every 30 to 45 minutes, waves at you, and walks out. And that's it. That's all it is. So in terms of like character dinners, not great. Then the food itself is probably the best food that I did have at Disney, but not worth the price that you pay as the update. But it was fine. I mean, I'll put it this way. Like, so I had, what did I have? A pork chop. Very serviceable pork chop. Is fine. Came with some mashed potatoes. There was another side. I don't recall what it was. Oh, it was some sort of pepper thing. That's why I didn't eat it. And then the dessert was essentially a chocolate trio, which, if you've ever followed my channel, you know, I am very allergic to, so couldn't eat that. So they had a vegan option instead, which was paste, basically. It claimed to be a lemon cake, but it was... And that was it. Whereas the first night we were there, we ate at Boatwright's, which is at the French Quarter at Port Orleans. And I had, I think, pulled pork and some chicken. Well, it was like chicken tenders. It was like a all you care to enjoy kind of thing. They don't say all you can eat. Always all you care to enjoy. And so it was those things with, again, mashed potatoes was a side. I think that was the meal when I had mac and cheese. Don't think I had the mac and cheese in Germany because I only had 2 all you can care to enjoy dinners. And I don't remember that there. So it must have been mac and cheese. And then some sort of greens, either green beans or peas, maybe? I don't know. It tells you how memorable all the meals are. And but anyway, so I paid half what I paid the last night on that first night at Boatwright's, and I thought the food was just as good quality, and I got more of it.
I mean, I guess you're paying for the experience, but still, you know, it sounds like it's.
It wasn't a very good experience. I mean, we were in the ballroom, which is kind of neat. So there's 3 rooms. You can go in the ballroom, the library, or the third room that I didn't care enough about and wasn't seated in, so I don't remember it now. So, I mean, it's still Disney. It's still ambiance. It's still there. And because of the price, less kids. So that part was nice. It sounds awful. Like, I feel like I'm one of my old professors from college that used to say, like, you know, teaching college was great if it weren't for the students. And I kind of feel that way about Disney. Like, Disney is great if it weren't for the kids. And that's awful, I know, because the problem is not actually the kids, it's the parents of the kids. And that could be a whole another blog post on my, I don't know, whenever I come back to making content, now that I'm going to have an actual internet again, and actually the best internet I've ever had in my life. I could pay for, by the way, to go back to that for just a half second, I could pay for 5 gigabit service for the same price I'm paying for my shitty 5G right now. And I'm not doing that. I'm just at 1 gigabit, I think is enough for anyone. So the parents at Disney range from really good to, why did you have these kids? And I think the experience is best summed up by our meal at the Plaza, which is a restaurant in the Magic Kingdom on the end of Main Street by the castle. We like the Plaza because it's tied to the ice cream shop, so you can get the whole ice cream shop as your dessert at the Plaza, and then the food is just Americana, right? So I think I had pulled pork there too as a sandwich. No, they had an Impossible Burger. I'm pretty sure that's what I had. I love Impossible Burgers. I'm not vegetarian, but man, Impossible Burgers are so good. Anyway, I had that and fries, and Mrs. Frog had something of a similar vein, right? But there was this one family to the left of us. 2 parents, the mother of one of those two parents, presumably someone of that generation, and two kids. And the one kid got his meal and was like, I don't, it was like, I immediately was like, ah. And the mom said, look, you don't have to eat that part, but you're going to eat the rest of it. You'll like the rest of it, right? And he's like, yeah. It's like, all right, so just eat the rest of that part. If you want some of my fries, I've traded you my fries, and I'll eat the other thing you didn't want. It was like mac and cheese or something you didn't want. I don't know. It was some side. He ate the main, whatever it was, chicken fingers or burgers, because it's basically all kids eat at Disney. And that was great. Excellent example of parenting, excellent example of the kids. Like the kid was on the verge of a meltdown because it's Disney, and boy, will you get overstimulated at Disney. And his parents were just like, look, you don't want that, no big deal, because they knew the kid was going to eat, right? It was just the side, wasn't the main. He was going to get the protein, make it work. On our other side, I'm gesturing as though I'm on camera. I'm practicing. I'm getting ready for streaming, I guess, again. On the other side was a family of 5, mother, father, again, presumably, a male and female with kids. So mother, father, 2 daughters and a son. The daughters were sitting with the mother, the son was sitting with the father. It's like a typical, imagine a diner. If you've never been to the plaza, it's like a diner. So a typical diner table setup. And everyone at that table were on their phones. Everyone. Kids, parents, everyone. So the son destroyed a menu, just destroyed it. And the kids are given like a color menu, right? So you can color on it, just like it's your big boy in the 1980s. And Perkins, for those of you on the other coast, don't have big boys. And they, yeah. And so they were like, it just destroyed it, just ripping it to shreds, whatever. And the parents didn't say anything about it. So there's like pieces of menu on the table, pieces of menu on the floor. There's food on the floor. This kid is like making a mess with their food, whatever. And the mother and the daughters were relatively well behaved, but they're all on their phone. Nobody's paying attention to each other. Nobody's talking to each other. They're just making a mess. Then ice cream comes for this family. I will point out that the family to my left, the first family, their son that didn't want the mac and cheese, it was his birthday. And so they got a celebratory birthday thing, and they had their dessert in peace and quiet and enjoyed it and left. On the right-hand side, your left as you're looking at me, the family of crazy people, they tore into their dessert like it was they were monkeys flinging feces. Again, not everyone. It was basically just the son. But just made this huge mess. And our waitress had all 3 of those tables. So that was like her 3 tables. She may have had 4 in the section. I don't know. But one of the nice things about Disney is they do staff accordingly. And as much as people complain sometimes about working for the mouse, they do actually pay better than most of the rest of the customer service in Orlando, from what I understand. Do not work for the company. Do not speak for the brand. And it was just unbelievable, because then you could also tell, based on how they left, who tips and what. And let me tell you, the good family over on this other side, who by glance were probably in the lower socioeconomic bracket than the phone people, definitely tipped well. And the people who were on their phones and left a giant mess for everybody else to clean up did not. Like, it was very clear just looking at the waitress. Waiters are good at hiding that stuff, but they're not that good. And so you could tell based on how they looked at it. And then obviously, Mrs. Frog and I sitting in the middle, we have no kids, it's just us. And we cleaned up after we saw we were not making messes, and we tipped well. But like, that's just indicative of what happened all throughout the weekend. Some kids, great. Some kids nearly got themselves killed because they ran in front of me while I'm trying to like power walk somewhere, because we were a little late a couple of times. As long as we're near to go soon. Mrs. Frog likes to sleep in, put it that way. And so we will adjust our plans accordingly the next time, but this time made it a little tight for things. And so, you know, I'm a big guy, 6'3", 275. I'm sorry, 6'2", 275. Don't want to oversell things here.
You know what this is.
Yeah. But I mean, imagine when you're a 3-foot tall kid, you know, pay attention to what's around you or you're going to get blasted. And I almost did that to a couple of kids because they're just running around. You know, luckily I still have the skills of my youth, and so I'm agile like a ballet dancer. But man, it was a crazy time. But yeah, we were late the one time. We just got going later. We made a 10:30 appointment to do behind the seeds. It's called SEEDS. You are not getting more treats. And it's the living with the land, but you go into the actual greenhouses. It's cool. So it was like behind the scenes, but they call it behind the seeds. And actually learned a lot about the tour. It was $30. And when we started on the tour guide just says, now we're going to go out into the ride, because the first 2 rooms are truly backstage. They're not seen on the ride. And then he's like, okay, we're going to go out into the ride, and they're going to see you walking with me, and they're going to see me some sort of celebrity. So I would encourage you just to wave, and if someone asks for an autograph or something, feel free to sign it, because none of them know that you could just spend $30 and they could be here too. Like, oh, good.
That's funny.
It was a good trip. That we were late for that. And again, in Disney Magic, if you are nice to the Disney cast members, they will be nice to you. Yeah, because he's loud as shit, Mac. He's not a quiet. He's 14 and a half pounds. He's not a small cat. They will be nice to you. And if you're an asshole to the Disney cast members, then they'll tell you to have a magical day. And that's basically saying, "Oh, bless your heart." So we got there late. We were like 5 minutes late. I'm like, look, I'm so sorry. It's on us. We're late. I get it. Is there a later tour that we could join today? And she's like, oh, hold on a second. And she radioed, where are you? And they were still in the first room. She's like, I'll take you back there. And I just took me right back. Like, sweet. But it was always that way. If you were nice to the cast members, they're nice to you. And the sad thing is, so many people are just not nice. Like, they think because they're at Disney and they spent all that money that, like, oh, you need to treat us like kings. And you're like, you understand, legitimate, honest to God, real kings come to these parks. Like, you're nobody. Like, yeah, you paid a lot of money for you, and that's important and that's appreciated, and they will appreciate you and treat you accordingly. But they're not going to do it more than. They're not going to treat you like royalty when actual royalty comes to these things. Like, God. Yeah, they say it all the time, Mac. If you hear a cast member telling you to have a magical day, that's not real. They're basically telling you to F off. But it's the way that they can say it in a polite manner. It's, oh, thanks so much. Yep, I understand. Okay, have a magical day. And that's it. They out. It's hilarious. But the whole thing was great. I mean, we never got a lightning lane. Never did Genie Plus. That wasn't important to us. We rode everything we wanted to ride almost, except for Tron, because the Tron's hard to get on right now. Like, you have to get up at 7 in the morning. Well, no, that's not. You have to get up before 7 in the morning, and then at 7 in the morning, if you're staying on a Disney resort, you can start getting into the virtual queue. And it's just tough to do. And then you can get in the queue again at 1 o'clock if you're in the park. And unfortunately for us, we never did the same park on the front and back half of the day, with exception of Animal Kingdom, because that's a park you can do in one day. So we spend one day at Animal Kingdom. Although, to be fair, we also went back to Magic Kingdom after that. But by then it was too late, right? Because you have to be in the park at 1 o'clock to get into that queue for, I think those rides start at like 2, from 2 to close, and you're just put in a group. So it's just too popular right now, right? You can't get into it. We didn't do Cosmic Rewind for a similar reason, but also because that one goes backwards a little bit. Spoiler alert, by the way. Sorry, a little late on that. And I can't do backwards. I can't. I want to. I'd love to, but I've been scarred for life thanks to Expedition Everest, so I just can't. But it's good. And I now realize, again, touch of Disney, that I've been speaking about Disney for a half hour, so I'll take my $1 million, please, meme. And then Why don't we talk about Minecraft or something? Unless you want another half-hour Disney, because I can give it to you easy.
I mean, it's not something I'm going to
Easy
do anytime
peasy.
soon, so it's interesting to hear about, at least, you know?
I recommend it at least once. If you like, not thrill rides, but if you like rides, if you like themes, if you like anything Disney, definitely get to the theme park once. If you're only going to go once in your life, go to Orlando. Nothing wrong with California. It's just that there's more in Orlando. I love California. It's one of the 2 roller coasters in the entire Disney brand that goes upside down is in California. So that's something. Yeah, the Incredicoaster goes upside down, and then the other one is the Rock and Roller Coaster of Aerosmith. Those are the only 2 that go upside down in Disney. But yeah, I mean, it's a great place to be. We're going back next year. We've already decided we're not taking advantage of the 35% off because we're not going on those blackout dates that they're trying to beef up their numbers on those dates. But we like going in September because the crowds are lowest. It's also tends to be the hottest time of the year. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I used to stream. So I've been creating online content since 2015. I have a YouTube channel, Purple Frog Plays. My videos are still there. It's like 5,500 videos or something like that. It's not quite 6,000 videos. With an average length of 20 minutes, by the way, also. When I think of how much of my life I have spent talking to nobody, it's intimidating. But there are videos on there of all the games I played, GeoGuessr, Factorio, and Paradox's Grand Strategy titles. Those are my big 3 that are on YouTube. But I stopped in 2019 because they changed the partner program. Ironically, now they've changed it back. So if I started streaming again, or if I started uploading to YouTube, I would be a partner. So I'm considering it when I restart. So yes, I have a lot of experience with that. I've been streaming since 2017. Did it take 2 years before I started doing Twitch? It was only 1 year. Maybe I've been an affiliate since 2017. That could be.
That sounds about right.
I'm a Twitch affiliate because you never leave the affiliate program, which thank God, because if I had to get affiliate now, I don't think I could do it. Never been a partner though, because those numbers, I just never had those numbers. And I'm just used to talking, but also in my past life, I was a musician. So like being on stage is no big deal. I did debate in high school, not well, but I did it. Although to be fair, in a debate move I am now both regretful and proud of, I did convince a classroom of people why the Confederacy should have succeeded. So that, great debate, awkward result. But yeah, I think that partially it's because I just talk about what actually has happened to me. I don't try and make up stories. I'm not that great about that. Yeah, Mac, it's no lie. To be fair, I was in 9th grade, so like, how hard is it to convince a 9th grader of anything? But yeah, and of course the way you do it, and the way I did it, is you never once, not once in the entire debate acknowledged slavery. Not once. So that also tells you how weak my opponent was, because you think the North is gonna drag the Confederacy about that. Never once mentioned.
Huh.
Yeah. They did not get such a good grade on theirs. That one was part of class. That was not part of the club. And I'm also a bit of an egoist, so I don't mind the sound of my own voice through my headphones. So I could talk for a lot, and I know a lot about a lot, but I wouldn't say I'm an expert in a lot. You know what I mean? Like I know a high amateur's level of a lot of things. I'm an expert in the genres of music I studied because I have advanced degrees in it. So if I wasn't, that's a problem. I suppose, you know what, there's plenty of people that have advanced degrees that aren't. But I am an expert in those sorts of things. I can tell you a lot about percussion, expert in percussion. Again, that's another one of my degrees. I'm an expert in casinos because I spend a disgusting amount of time in it. I was in finance for 8 years, so I'm very good at corporate finance. And by extension, because most of my job in corporate finance was analyzing marketing campaigns, I'm very good at marketing as well. So those are like my big areas. And then my personal infatuations are board gaming and Disney. So if I lived in Orlando, I would be at Disney World every day. I'd have an annual pass. I would go at the end of every day. No questions. So I have some thoughts about Disney.
Just a couple.
And mostly I keep my Disney paraphernalia in check. I have a problem with pins right now. We're working on it. I only bought 14, I think, this time around. So we're getting better. We're getting better. Last time it was, I think I spent over $1,000 on pins.
It's a lot of pins.
I was going to ask, because I had forgotten, and you've explained in the past, how pins work.
Well, you put the
buy them,
pointy end
like
inside of a fabric, and then you put the cap on the other end of the pointy end when it's through the fabric, and then they stay.
But when you have that many pins, do you have enough fabric?
Yes, because I have a number of 16 by 20 canvases. So Michael's other stores are available. Michael's is great for crafts. They sell black stretched canvas.
Oh,
So
nice.
I have 5 black 16 by 20 frames, of which I filled 1, and I'm starting on number 2. To be fair, one of the pins this time was bought by Mrs. Frog.
Ooh,
So
a whole one of them.
well, she said she didn't really want to get into it, and I said, give it time. So yes, the pins are big. I like pins even beyond Disney. So a Disney pin, there are essentially 3 types of Disney pins in the broadest sense of the term. There's open, there's limited, and then there are boosters. They don't call them boosters, but they're boosters. And so I guess there's sort of starters too. So you can get like a starter pack of 4 pins and a lanyard. Don't put your pins on a lanyard. Amateur hour. Most moderate collectors will have some sort of backpack with a display area. So there's like a clear plastic over them, so nobody can just come by and try and take your pin because they're in behind plastic. True collectors, like the ones I saw this weekend, because Destination D23, which is the Disney fan club, was at the resort hotel where I was staying. I did not get tickets because I had meetings that day in my real job and could not get tickets for it, which is ironic because I was already staying at the host hotel. Then they announced the event. I'm like, oh my God, I can go. This is the best thing ever. And then I didn't get tickets, so it became the worst thing because they got a free Figment, like 12-inch statue of Figment, which was so awesome. Everyone going got one. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, that's the biggest pain. That is actually a decent comparison to that, Savage. That pins are kind of like anime figures for weebos, sort of. But so these 3 types of pins, you can get the starters. Like I said, they come with a lanyard. Don't do that. Then they also have other 4 packs that I guess, but they're really part of the open series. So you get 4 of them at once, so they're a little bit of a discount. They are now. They were $9.99 2 years ago. Now they're $11.99 for the base pin. 14 and 17 are the 3 prices for the different types of pin things. Oh, fear of missing out. You have no idea. You have no idea. Because the open series are the ones that are all over the parks. But no park store, not one, has an identical selection to any other park store. They are all unique in terms of what they stock. Now, 80 to 90% of the pins are the same. Like there's a certain set of pins that are they're just there. So when you're in the parks, when you're in the Magic Kingdom, for instance, there are 3. I think there's 3 places you can get pins in the Magic Kingdom, and they all have the same core of Magic Kingdom type pins, and the same core of Disney World pins, and the same core of just Disney pins. So like those 3 things are the same, but then they have different pieces that are you can't find them at the other stores. They just don't exist because they're only stocked in certain stores, or they're only stocked in the Magic Kingdom, or just on this day because they were sold out of this store, they hadn't been restocked there yet, and so they're only at the other 2 stores. And that's just the open series, which means that they've made 50,000 of these things. So for instance, your typical pins of Mickey Mouse, Donald, Goofy, like your Fab Four, your auxiliary characters like Chip and Dale, they're everywhere. You can get them. They're an open series. It's just them. Maybe they're in a cute little costume, whatever. So like Mickey's Not So Scary celebration is going on right now. Started on August 11th this year. Yes, it's early. Don't worry about it. And there are 5 or 6 pins themed just to that theme for just this year. They're not dated, so like they don't say 2023 on them, but they were created for this year's Mickey's Not So Scary celebration. And I got the Goofy one. It's an open. They're open, so there's no limit. They're going to print like 50,000, 100,000, 500,000. I don't know how many they print when they print open, but a ridiculous amount that it's no problem. When they did the 50th anniversary celebration, they did the characters in front of the Disney 50 logo with that font, the colors and everything. Those were unlimited until basically the 50th celebration ended. Now all that's left is Chip and Dale because nobody likes Chip and Dale.
Aww.
That's cruel. It's cruel, but it's true. They're probably the least popular of the Disney core 12, right? So the those are the open pins. Then they have limited pins, and those are truly limited. So a limited run of a pin that ends up hitting the parks is going to be 10,000 or less. So they'll make 10,000 of them. They'll be locked away behind the counter. There'll be displays next to the other pins so you can look at them, but you have to go to a cast member at the register to get them. And they usually start around $25-ish a pin, up to I think the Roger Rabbit anniversary pin was like $40 or something.
Wow.
And those are limited and to 10,000. Then, if you are an annual pass holder, there are specific pins that only you can buy. If you are part of the Disney Vacation Club, there are pins that only you can buy. If you're part of Club 33, there are pins that only you can buy, which is ridiculous because Club 33, those people, they don't need pins. And if you don't know what Club 33 is, we'll get into that in a minute. But if you're in any of these different Disney Club things, you have your own pins. They're limited. Then the D23, which is a Disney fan club, you can spend money to be a gold member of the Disney fan club, like I do. And you then get access to limited pins created specifically for D23 members that are they're not open series, but they're not like marked D23. They're just Disney pins, but only D23 members can buy them, and they are limited to 1,500. Period. In the world, that's it. There are 1,500 of these pins, and they are created for D23 Gold members, so they are sold at pin pricing, which means that they typically are $15 to $20 when you buy them. You then turn around because they will sell out the first day. And so once they sell out, they are $50 to $100. And people pay that. It's bonkers.
Bananas.
It's absolutely. This is what Gwen Stefani was singing about.
Mm-hmm.
It may have been other words, but this was it. And she was friends with Mouseketeers. She knows. So I have quite a number of these things. Yeah, Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, they were all Mouseketeers.
I thought Gwen Stefani was okay.
Was she? Oh my God. If this is a piece of Disney trivia I do not know, I will give you 50 points.
I thought she was. I make no claim. I have no knowledge of this.
She would have had to have been the generation prior, though.
Gwen Stefani, born 1969. Holy shit. God, she looks phenomenal for 1969. Okay, let's see here. Career. Other ventures? No, she was never a Musketeer.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, she didn't exactly
Yeah.
have that wholesome image.
No, she so because of when she was born, she might have been there during the I mean, I call it the blackout. I don't know what it was really called, but there were no Musketeers for like 15 years or something like that. And so, given that she would have been a teen in the 80s, it would have been really close. She would have been an old Musketeer had she been one. Let's just put it that way. The pin black market? Oh no, my friend. It's not black. It's out there in the open. Like, the things you can trade on eBay and other sites of its like are unbelievable. But you got to be careful for the scammers because so Disney a number of years ago, I don't know if it's a decade or 15, but somewhere in that time frame, it might even be 20 years now because I have no concept of the real passage of time considering that, it's been 25 years since I graduated high school. They started printing backs, three-dimensional backs that would identify it as Disney pins because scammers can create the front, but they couldn't duplicate what the back was for whatever reason. Probably just because they were Chinese knockoffs and they were too cheap and quick to do that. And so there are a lot of people, myself included, who will no longer buy pins online unless they're officially from Disney. But in the parks, you can see them, right? So it's up front, it's fine. I also have a stock of pins that I'm willing to trade with anyone for anything. And I say with anyone, but it's mostly for the kids, right? So like if I see a kid so if I'm wearing my suspenders, and yes, I don't do the backpack, I wear suspenders. If I'm wearing the suspenders and a kid comes up to me and wants one of the ones that's easily tradable, I'll trade it for anything. Won't matter. Some of them I'd have just for display because I will wear some of my limited pins just as like hey, I have cool limited pins. But then I have a bunch to trade. Like Pokemon cards, well, it's like any collectible, right? So it can be faked, it can be authenticated, and it's things like that. There's also, it's not pack weighing, but on these, I didn't even get to the mystery boosters yet. That's my other half hour now. They do mystery boosters, so they do sets of anywhere from 10 to 50 because they did a 50th anniversary one for each of the statues that they had in the park. There were these boosters, and you would get a certain number of pins inside the booster. Typically, it's 2. So you spend $20 for these 2 pins, which is $4 less than you would have had you bought these things separately. But also, they only come in these mystery boosters. And yes, there's a rarity.
Of course.
And so, of course, Disney puts some of them in bags, and you can feel the pins through the bags. So some people will not buy bags because they'll feel them up first and be like, oh, I already have all these, and put it back onto the thing. Those are cheaper ones. Those tend to be like 5 pins for $20. So they're not considered to be as sought after as the ones that come in the boxes. So they're basically, not basically, now that I'm thinking about it, they are starter deck size. So like the old Magic starter decks that you could use to buy the pre-cons, is that size of a box that has 2 pins in it. And it pins $20. Some kind of podcast, I have thought about it, but I don't know what. That's kind of my problem. Mm-hmm. I have actually had several ideas. One of my third big kind of interest area is spirituality and religion. I effectively minored in it in my graduate degree, but it's not really, you know what I mean? It was like extracurricular, not actual classwork. But my thesis was ecclesial, and my doctoral dissertation absolutely would have been ecclesial and still might be. I'm not dead yet, still get a doctorate. So one of the podcasts that I was going to do would bring people on from all different faiths and religions and just talk about spirituality because it's fascinating to me what other people's viewpoints are and how it comes together and how we feel and sense the divine in life around us. I'd have atheists on, agnostics, didn't matter. Just talk about how higher powers and all stuff like that. The other thing that I wanted to do was to interview people that had interesting jobs. So I have friends that I've made throughout my life that are just in some very interesting jobs. So I know a nuclear engineer whose job is to effectively investigate and then consult. So investigate existing nuclear reactors and consult on the building of new ones. Fascinating. No idea how any of that works, but I would love to be able to interview that person and have them talk about it, right? And then I know a chemical engineer who works for the Navy, right? They can't. She actually has his clearance, so there's a bunch of stuff she can't talk about, but there are other things. And I thought about bringing on a rabbi. Like, what does a rabbi do? I don't understand the differences between that and Christianity. How does it differ? Bring on an imam, right? So kind of having that religion thing come on. Talk to a game store owner, right? Just all those sorts of different things. And I think that would definitely help with the burnout issue that you're talking about, because every episode of that one, you'd be talking to somebody new, doing something different. So it's fascinating. Thought about doing a game one, thought about doing a Disney blog, but like, who wants to listen to some middle-aged white guy talking about Disney? I don't have inside access, although I suppose if you do it long enough and you get good enough, you would eventually get that access. But, because like I watch a lot of TikTok right now. That's my semi-guilty pleasure. And a lot of what's on my For You page are Disney bloggers, right? And I thought about that, like when we were on vacation, like, do I want to do that? And I was like, no. I don't want it to be my job. I just want to enjoy Disney. So I'm worried if I had a Disney podcast, I'd start to hate it, So
it's the trouble with doctorates too.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, so my doctoral degree was going to be an examination of the Gnostic and agnostic stories behind the Passion, and so I was a music composer. That was my big focus. I kind of had stopped. I did percussion as my master's degree because they paid me a lot of money to do it, but I was like done with performance. Basically, I was on to composition. That's what I cared. And so I was going to write a setting of the Passion of the Christ, which is the death and resurrection of Christ. My big focus is modular music, so I'm very interested in like being able to write music that works well for a soloist and piano, for instance, as well as a full orchestra. And then my advisor at the university that I was going to go to before it all fell through, funding basically fell through. He's like, well, you like modular, right? And so you wanted it because I had talked about the instrumentation, but also the length. Because a typical Passion service, like for like a Bach Passion, for instance, it's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, right? It's a long time. And so, like, you could pick and choose the different pieces, and I'd want it musically and thematically to work that you could do that and omit certain pieces so it would be smaller. Especially if you're doing a soloist with the piano, you're not going to do a 2.5 hour solo vocalist concert. They'd be fried. They couldn't do it. So you'd have to be able to cut it down to like an hour and a half tops with a break. Like, you would have to have an intermission. So how does all that work? And my advisor's like, this is all fascinating. I love this. And then he says to me, so what if you just cut out the resurrection? I was like, well, then you just have a humanist story about somebody who tried to live life well and his lessons for it and how he was killed for it. And he's like, yeah. And do you think you'd reach more people with that message without that part of the mysticism? I was like, holy crap. And so I've been thinking about this for 15 years. I was accepted into this program 15 years ago now, which is truly depressing. And I've never written it, but I've thought about it for a long time. And the whole point of it would be, as you're doing it, you're looking at all the apocryphal texts, the agnostic texts, what actually is the Gnostic text for the Passion. You're going to use the 3 Gospels that have it. You're going to use the kind of references in John that talk about it. You're definitely going to reference the Acts of the Apostles, which happens after. But then you're going to look at the Gospel of Mary. You're going to look at the Gospel of Bartholomew. You'll look at all the other different extant works at the same time when the Council of, oh my God, my brain is blanking. Was it Nicaea or Trent that did this? Whichever one it was, somebody came up and said, these are the official books of the Bible. And from that moment on, those were the Gnostic texts, and that was it. That's all you got. But there were like a dozen other Gospels at the same time that did exist and were written around the same time. None of the Gospels were written during his lifetime, for instance. None of the people alive wrote those Gospels. So the letters are legit. So the letters of Paul, most of the letters of Paul, let's not get into that. But most of the letters of Paul were written by actual Paul, the apostle. And then most of the letters of the other types of letters were written by those people. but the Gospels were written 100 to 300 years later. So it's a big difference in the source material. And there were all these different ones. I mean, like the Gospel of Bartholomew is actually purported to be written by Bartholomew, who was the 13th apostle. You know, and first off, by the way, surprise, there were 13 apostles.
Counting's hard.
Judas was replaced. So after he betrayed Jesus, they brought in Bartholomew, and he was part of the Council of 12. The Gospel of Mary, no Catholic priest wants to talk about that, because a woman wrote that? Heck no.
Oh, no.
That's not allowed. But it was there. It was real. It was not Mary Magdalene. It was not Mary, the mother of Jesus. It was a different Mary. But it was still, a woman wrote a gospel very close to the time of Jesus. I think that one is 50 to 100 years after his death. And it has some very different things in it. Like, some of these gospels have Jesus getting a wife and marrying and having kids. Right? So it's just fascinating. Anyway, sorry. We have 10 minutes left in the stream. So...
Hey, it's great content for while I'm just sitting here staring at tar being made.
Fair. And I'm not playing right now. That makes it easier for me to talk to, Savage. So, like, if you come in a couple of weeks when I'm actually playing again, there'll be more focus on the game and less on random talking like this. And I think you are right. I think it was the Council of Nicaea that did the setting of the gospel texts and which ones were actually real and which were apocrypha. I think Trent was the one that did the whole celibacy thing. Let's find out. Oh, right. No, the Council of Trent is Counter-Reformation. That was what, yeah, that did all of the, like the entire topic of that was Protestantism, because it was 1545. So Luther stapled a couple of things to a door and the world went crazy. So,
whoa, madness.
Yeah, so it was not the Council of Trent. That was later. Council of Nicaea. There were two of them, interestingly enough. Yes, I was thinking of the first. The first Council of Nicaea is the one that did that. What happened in the second council? I don't even remember that there was a second one. Oh, okay. It was one of the Eastern-Western councils. So it was one where they came together because Byzantine was doing the Byzantine things, and they had banned idolatry and not idolatry. Sorry, that's banned by the commandments.
Yeah, that was banned pretty early.
Yeah, iconography. The fact that you shouldn't use or venerate holy symbols like that that are stand-ins for holy people. Because of the Muslim influence in the first part of the 6th and 7th century, 7th and 8th centuries. So this was at the end of the 8th century. We're like, well, wait a minute, we don't need to do that. Like, this isn't the reason we're losing people to being Muslim. So let's not do that. We need the veneration of saints again, and so they put that back in. Among other things, like none of these were just one-topic councils, but that's like the big thing that came out of this.
Oh, now I've forgotten the name of the dog saint again.
The dog saint? Kappa?
Yeah. Not widely accepted as a saint, but protector of children.
The American rapper from Southern California from 1975 to 2020?
No, not that one.
Oh my God.
I love that response. That's a great response.
Saint Guinefort, I'm not going to read the pronunciation, was a 13th century French greyhound. Received local veneration as a folk saint. So he's not an official canonized saint of the Catholic Church.
Right.
Its feast day is August 22nd. Just missed it.
Oh man.
I think I saw it. Like I thought, like I saw it online that someone was like, "Hey, it's the feast day of the dog saint. Keep an eye on your kids."
That's true. It was suppressed by the Catholic Church in point of fact.
Oh boy. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, because dude comes
It appears in
home.
a film.
Because the thing with the dog is a guy comes home, sees the house has been torn up a bit, crib is overturned, dog's mouth is covered in blood, so he kills the dog. And then here's the baby crying. Turns out the dog saved the kid from a snake. And then all the story of the miracles that were attributed to him after his death that got people to be like, "Oh yeah, the dog saved." Whatever. I don't know the actual stories of the posthumous miracles of Saint. Was it Winifred?
Guinefort. It's Guinefort. It's French though, so God knows.
Winifred. Yeah.
Guinevere, probably. Not that I
This
know French.
particular greyhound was owned by a knight. This is a story described by the Dominican friar Stephen of Bourbon in 1250. This is as early as this was mentioned. So there was some knight that went hunting, left his infant son in the care of the dog, and when he returned, as Light mentioned, the nursery was in chaos. Child nowhere to be seen. Guinefort greeted his master with bloody jaws, and so the knight believed the dog to have slain his son, and so he slew the dog. Then he heard the child crying, turned it over, and found a dead viper with bloody dog bites in it. So on realizing the mistake, the family dropped the dog down a well, covered it with stones, planted trees around it, and set up a shrine. And the locals considered him to be a martyr. It was actually a local Protestant point of contention, and they used it to criticize Catholicism, saying they're worshiping a dog. And then the Catholics in the Counter-Reformation were like, you know what? That is right. That's dumb. And so they suppressed it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a false dog flag.
The last known visit by someone to the St. Winifred Wood to effect a cure for a sick child occurred in the 1940s.
Okay, somebody get on that.
How am I getting on that? I'm time traveling back there? I mean, there are other things I would do in the 40s than visit the child.
No, we can just go and visit it now to be the last known people to go to the Guinefort Woods to seek help for a sick child. Does anyone know a sick child?
There's actually a source for this.
Unfortunately, all the children I know are currently healthy.
Yeah.
Stupid
It was in a 1987 French film called The Sorceress.
The sorceress.
See also a list of individual dogs. Not helpful.
So, what's up?
You don't want to be a martyr. It sounds a lot better on paper than it is in real life. Yeah, actual gameplay. Yes. Not dominating the conversation like I have done today. But as mentioned, they're both basically farming, so it helps to fill the time.
Mm-hmm. Numbers
If I go
go
to
up.
Disney at the table and say they're sick. No, the kids weren't sick. It's the parents that were the problem. Kids were perfectly healthy. Yeah, oh God, fucking Disney parents. Disney parents have a problem with adults at Disney as well. We met some other dinks while we were there, so it felt good. But it's stunning. I mean, this is happening more and more in America in general, but just the superiority of people is just. Well, we are all floating on a tiny little ball in incredibly ununderstandable infinite amount of space. Like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall be the king of said little bubble. The king.
Yeah, that's amazing. They're just like people will cut the line. Like, bro, is another 10 minutes of your life really going to matter? And we don't care. We're not going to worry about it. But some people disrespecting staff members and like, God, do you see these videos online of like people cussing out staff members because they won't break the rules? Like, it's their job. What do you want?
To be a dick about it, apparently.
Apparently. All right, gentlemen. Thank you for letting me spout nonsense for 2 hours.
Anytime.
It's a good time.
And it is that time, believe it or not.
More or less.
Wow. Time does fly.
So I believe I'm back on Thursday with crappy internet, and the same for the next 2 days. But then, there could be hope.
Yay.
So it was a pleasure. I'm going to make my farewells.
Okay. Well,
I'm glad
Yeah.
it was interesting, Mech. Hopefully you got something out of it, even if it is just entertainment value.
Yeah, and I'm going to call the stream here as well, because, yeah, it's about that time. We're not going to finish this antiprotonic nuclear synthesizer due to the delay
Oh,
from
that's
the
what we're making?
irradiation.
Ooh,
Well,
I have plans for that.
even had we not had that problem, still probably wouldn't finish, because we still need another 4,000 coal coke dust. So next time, we're going to auto stock some of those graphite rod things, because it's a lot of graphite.
build some
Yeah.
reserves.
So yeah, we'll see you on Thursday. Bye bye.
Ciao.
But